research scholar, and a lot of people. Akshita Agrawal has joined. Manoj Kumar is joining. Let him also join. So start. Manoj Kumar is joining. So, what I say that Koili, yesterday last time you interacted with Archie Garg, who has given very good tips. Also, you all appreciated, and she has shared the PPT also. Today I have with us, because I believe that learning happens with the different kind of people sharing their experiences. Today we have with us Dr. Shatakshi Srivastav. She happens to be my colleague, and she has done PhD from Lucknow University. And to be very frank, Ramanpreet is also joining. To be very frank, she is one of the finest scholar I have seen. I'm not saying research scholar, I'm saying scholar, who is very humble, down to earth, and academic profile is very strong. She has worked on projects. She has written so many papers which have been published in Scopus. And Vanshika Datta is joining. So Shatakshi will share her experience, how literature reviews, what are the rules of literature, writing literature review, and how should you write the research papers which has potential to be published in Scopus. So 1 hour is there. Shatakshi ma'am, welcome to this group of people. All are very learned PhD scholars, and I've been teaching them literature review. But my idea was learning by doing. They have written 2 or 3 pages. A lot of good work has been done. Today, please share your experiences and your inputs to all these students. And out of all, I like to introduce you. We have Parmeshwar Raju ji, who himself has written many books in design, and 1 or 2 scholars they are following. They are quoting his writing in their literature review. I'm very happy to. Whenever I see him, I'm very motivated. So, Satakshi ma'am, floor is yours.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for such a nice platform today, and I would love to interact with each one of you. And if you all can please switch on your videos, it will be more interactive and more interesting for me as well. Okay. So good morning, everyone.
Recording in progress.
Morning, because when you actually wake up mentally, that's the morning. So, as sir has already introduced me, I'm Shatakshi. I did my PhD, and teaching apart from teaching, research is my passion. And when I'm saying research is my passion, I can prove that. How? I have published several articles, research articles, several review articles, and that too in the international journals. Right now, my point is that why am I saying that research is my passion, and then I am telling you that there is a international publication along with it. Why I am correlating this passion with this research article or the international publication? Can you give me an idea about it? Why do you think there should be a correlation?
It is the proof of the effort. It is a proof of your scholarship.
Okay, it is a proof of my hard work which I have put into it. All right. Okay. Can you please elaborate it a bit? Anyone?
Perhaps your scholarship, you are sort of engaged continuously, and it's an ongoing process for you.
Yes. Okay. So to some extent, you are all right, Kohli. Now you see, when I'm saying I'm passionate about something, right, then I have this attitude, I should have this attitude that I should learn whatever is there about this particular thing. Let's say if I'm interested in a penguin, I should be able to know everything about it, how it looks, what it eats, what is its lifestyle, what is affecting us, what are the factors which are affecting its habitat, everything about it, right? Know it all kind of attitude I should have. Now when I know it all, I have this attitude with me, then I will definitely go through a lot of literature to read all these things, right? And once I know everything about it, I will become the subject matter expert. But to become that, there are 3 ways of doing it. First, I think it in my mind, okay, a penguin, it looks like this. I have seen several pictures, this and that. Second way is what other people say about it. And third way is that I put a logical fact or logical evidence behind it, right? How will I do it? I will do it by going to the Google or different platforms where I would know about the different perspectives, what people have to say, or what people have analyzed so far about the penguins. And then I accept those teachings or accept those analysis and the results, and then I learn about the subject. So which one is the best way of becoming know it all kind of person, or of learning something about a given topic about which you think you are passionate? The first, second, or the third one? Am I
Logical
audible to
evidence.
everyone? Am I
Yes.
audible? Yes. Yes to
Logical
everyone.
evidence is the most powerful tool.
Yeah.
Logical evidence.
Yes, logical evidence is a most powerful tool, because if you question me or if anybody across the globe questions my work, I have a strong backing of those evidences. And then I would say, see, in these papers, these details have been given, and that is why I am saying this particular, I'm giving this particular statement, right? So when every time you are getting into the research, there are two very important things that you need to do apart from writing your thesis, definitely. First thing is surveying the literature, whatever is available there. And second thing is writing it down and getting it published,
हाँ
right? So, how you are going to write it, why you should write it,
हाँ
all this we are going to discuss in this 1 hour. Okay. So if you have any question, or if you still think that, see, I want to complete my thesis in 2 years. If I start writing the research paper, then I will never be able to finish my thesis in 2 years. Why are you suggesting me to write a paper? Is this a question in anybody's mind? Please ask.
हेलो
Or is just in my mind?
हाँ हेलो
Writing the paper will contribute towards your research,
हाँ
towards your
हाँ
final thesis. I don't think it is
मैं तो
out
क्लास में
of
गया था
that
उसने
course.
बताया
It is something which will work towards
एक बजे
dovetail
हो
into
गया
the final product. It will not be something of a wasted effort.
Yes, because every time
हाँ हाँ
you are reading literature related to your topic,
हाँ
you are thinking about one person's
ये सब
perspective,
सिखाया और क्या
right? Each paper gives you a new
नहीं तो आ जाओ
dimension of thought towards that particular topic, the topic which you have chosen,
नहीं
right?
क्लास नहीं तो क्लास
Now,
हो रही
let
है
us, for example, let's say let's start with the penguin
मैंने
itself,
5
right?
बजे तक
Please
और था
open the Google Scholar on your screens.
हाँ ठीक है हाँ ठीक है
Right.
हाँ
Just type the word penguin over there and just see how many results you
ठीक
get. On the top of the page, it's written. How many results you are getting from there? The minute you type penguin on the Google Scholar and press enter, how many results you are getting?
It's about 1.58 million.
1.58 million. Everybody is getting more or less similar number of searches? Yes?
Yes, yes.
Yes? Good. Now you just add a comma and write bird next to it. Penguin, comma, bird. And press the enter. How many searches now you are getting?
454,000.
454,000. You see, from million, it has narrowed down to several thousands, right? Now you know that you want to study about the penguin bird, right? Now, if you look at the first 10 or 20 reads, you would see that the type of publications are involved with the lifestyle of a penguin, its physical appearance, its habitat, how the environment is affecting it, or how the penguin is affecting the environment, and a number of different types of studies you will see on the first page itself, right? Now you see, every time you are reading these different types of papers, you are reading the perspective of the authors, right? You are reading one dimension of a particular aspect, right? Now, so for a literature survey or for writing a literature review, you need to be aware of all these aspects. And second thing is that you know you need to refine your topic even more. Just a penguin bird will not do. It will take at least 10 years to read all these papers, and then you know, to assemble all of them together and then writing it down. Okay. So just think about, if for writing a literature review is going to take 5 years, then how much more time it is going to take for the thesis writing, right? So we have to know what keywords we should use. We have to be very clear in our minds about what topic we are going to discuss. And apart from that, writing a paper is not only an art, it is also a science. Right? So in today's discussion, we are starting with how to write your literature review and the research article. Right? Now, the literature review comprises of two things. Literature review is when you are jotting it down, right? When you think that this much literature is important, and the initial part of the literature review is the literature survey, right? So when we are doing the literature survey, there are 4 points which are important while doing this survey, right? Every survey carries certain points. So these are the 4 points which every literature survey would do for us, right? It will define the purpose of our study. It will tell us that what kind of study we are doing and which aspect of the study we are looking into, right? I know that penguin looks beautiful. I am talking about the physical appearance. Ki yes, it has a beak, and it's a very royal bird, and it walks like humans on the two legs. It doesn't fly much, right? But the other person is looking it at a different way. It is saying it is walking because flying will cause its death in the region of Antarctica, right? So she's also seeing the penguin in the same way, but then that person has a different perspective, and that too interesting one. Yes, I have never thought about it as a physicist, right? The dying of penguins are affecting the ecological balance. Now this is the environmentalist's viewpoint of view. Now when you know it all, you can produce a better
चैन खराब हो
research,
गया
right?
क्या हो गया
So, and one more
कहाँ
thing,
इस तरह
I
की
don't
चैनल
want
की
it to
वजह
be
बनती रहती
a
है
one-way
जब पता है कि क्लास
communication.
में
Wherever
रहती
you
है फट फट
feel
फट फट हाँ आगे
there's
ले
a
ले दिखा
doubt,
दे
or
दे दवा
wherever you
निकल
think that
फोन ही करती
this
रहती
is
है
getting
हमेशा
repetitive, you can just, just tell me like that, so that we can keep it interactive. So by the end of this lecture, you all can actually, there should be good takeaways, and that this lecture should be enjoyable. Okay? Am I audible to all of you?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, great.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. So you see, whenever we are talking about the literature survey, what we are doing in that literature survey, we are systematically compiling the literature available to us around our topic, right? We are critically analyzing them, that whether they fall into the inclusion criteria of our study or not. For every topic, for every research topic, for every study, there has to be an inclusion criteria and an exclusion criteria. You cannot include all 1 million, articles in your study. That is just not possible for you to read, and that is just not right to do for your thesis, right? So there has to be a purpose for your study. There should be a clarity and focus in your topic, for the literature survey. There should be right sources of searching those articles. It could be Google Scholar, it could be PubMed, it could be Elsevier's its portal. It could be different sources present online as well as offline, right? Then the process and planning of the literature survey. How you are going to do this? Now, this all these four parts will form a very robust literature survey. And believe me, a good literature survey is the foundation of the successful research. If you want your research to be viable for next 10 to 15 years, you need to be very thorough in the knowledge of your subject, right? Your topic should stay relevant for another 10 to 15 years. And how you can define that topic? Simply by doing the literature survey. All right. So, if I put a process to the literature survey, you are starting your research, and you believe me, the first part of the research thesis is always the literature survey, be it a management thesis, or be it a science thesis, or be it a design thesis. I think Raju ji will definitely go with this part, that every thesis comes with this literature survey part as the first chapter. Is it, Raju ji?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So you see,
Yes.
so you see, these are the literature survey could be categorized into five types. First one is you need to plan your subject area, the sources from where you will extract the information, and to what depth you want to go, how much specific you want to be. So every guide would tell the student not to be too specific, otherwise it will be very difficult for you to switch into other fields, right? So it's always good to select a wider area. So which can be further divided into various tributaries. Okay. So first thing is the focus and the subject area and its sources. Then you would search. Search would be based upon the inclusion and exclusion criteria of your thesis, of your work, what kind of population you want to study, what aspect of that population you want to study, and what will be the different factors through which you will validate your study. Okay. So you will search and compile them, then you will organize them in the chronological order, and you will move slowly towards your focus, right? Then you will assemble all the data, all the information from there, and then you will identify how this information is relevant with respect to your thesis, with your research topic, and then you will rationalize that, and then you can easily define the objectives of your study, right? So in this whole process, you have read numerous numerous research articles, numerous review articles, and now you are much more clear about it, right? But this is all still in your mind. In your mind, I mean, back at the mind, you know that okay, these are the different aspects which had already been studied, but I am working upon these points, right? So now you know, when you will start writing them down, you will still face some confusions. There will be more noise in your data, right? So and let us keep it simple. Let us keep it simple. Now I have started with the penguin, and we'll stick to that for quite a while till we reach to the higher studies, right? So if I ask you to write 5 sentences about the penguin, 5 sentences about it, right? You will take 5 minutes to write it down. Please write it down. And then take 2 minutes to think also. Just think 2 minutes about the penguin and then start writing it down. I hope everybody is doing the exercise. It's a very, trivial exercise. I don't think it will be difficult. Ramanpreet, Vanshika, Akshita, Gopal. Are you there?
Yes, ma'am, we are here.
Yep.
You all are here. Okay, good. Done? Kohli ji has done, looks like. Kushal ji is also done with this. Excuse me, right? Raju ji is thinking, or now he's also done. Great. Durga ji?
Still reading, not written yet.
Okay. Sumit ji, Manoj, Ramanpreet, right? RevMan, it's review manager is one of them. RevMan 5, RevMan 4, depending upon the computer you have, you can have them. Zotaro is another freely available referencing software, but then it is much more than the referencing software. You can, you can write, add, or you can have the whole library of whatever you have studied in at one place online, and there is no fear of losing your data. It's absolutely online, it's on the cloud, right? So it's another referencing software. Apart from that, EndNote, Mendeley, there are so many of them which are available freely to you and which are available on the paid basis as well. Okay, so Zotero I would prefer because it's freely available, accessible to all, and it is a wonderful software. After
Can
going
you
through so
spell it
many of
out,
them, I
please?
realized that
Can you please spell it
Z
out?
O Z O T E R
Yes.
O.
Thank you.
Right, Zotero, right? You will find the tutorials also. So there you can just add up whatever you want to just read for your literature, and then it will show whenever you open it up, it will show all those studies and the authors, everything, and then you can use it for the referencing of your publications also. All right, now getting back to my slide. Now, see, till literature survey, everything is good, right? But when you start writing it, you need to break it into two forms, right? First one is the summarizing, another one is the synthesizing. All right. So summarizing is whatever you have studied, the historical background, the recent developments, whatever you have studied so far, that is the summarizing, and that has to go in the chronological order or in a way that connects to your main idea. And then the second point is synthesizing the new information. That means apart from studying or summarizing all these things, what have you deduced? What kind of knowledge or reasoning or definition of a problem you have achieved? That is equally important, right? So a literature review comprises of two components: the summarizing and the synthesizing, right? The information you are getting from there, the knowledge you have gained, and how much wiser you have become. So all these things need to be written in your research article, right? So you see how this literature review is going to help you. First, it will clarify the conceptual issues of your research related areas. Secondly, it is going to help your research design for the research. Third, at the time of your thesis defense, you know how to answer your examiner, and you actually prove that your research is relevant, worth doing, and definitely it will give you an insight so that you can contribute it towards that particular subject, towards particular area, and you can evolve that area over a period of time. जो बोलते हैं ना, father of genetics, father of marketing, they have become father because they know how to evolve that particular field, that particular research, that particular area, right? How to play with it, how to generate a absolutely new theory or a hypothesis and prove it. Okay, so literature review has a very strong impact on your studies when you are doing the research. All right. Okay, I'm receiving two. Sorry, there are two messages. Okay, the Yesh has written. Okay. 18 species, they live in colonies, they are found in wide range of habitats. That's a good one. That's a good one. Durkesh just knows how to stay focused on one point. That's good. Right? Okay. So, literature review, when you are writing it down, you need to write it 3 times during your thesis period, your research period, right? First, an early review is important so that you know that whatever you are doing is a relevant topic. It's not an obsolete one, right? Or the kind of research you are doing, it's not been already done. Okay, relevance is still there in the market. Second is during the period of research to validate your work, whether it's still relevant or you need to change your methodology or you need to modify the topic, whatever it is. And lastly, at the stage of preparation of your final report, right? So you need to publish 3 literature reviews during your PhD, right? That is much more than the UGC is asking for. Okay. And there are 5 steps of writing a literature review. You can just jot them down, and whenever you feel confused, just go through this, and you would know that how to write your literature review, right? First one is you mention the exclusion criteria clearly and the inclusion criteria clearly, right? Based upon your inclusion criteria, you put in the keywords, identify the technical keywords when you are doing the literature survey. First, identify the keywords, the technical words, which will help Google in searching what you want, the relevant articles. Second, use those keywords for the and the inclusion criteria, and then you will get very narrow, very small amount of literatures related to your work. Then you go through those literature based upon those studies which had already been done or which are ongoing. You can develop a theoretical framework, you conceptualize it, and then start writing. Am I clear? कोई डाउट है? अभी तक तो आप लोग लिटरेचर रिव्यू वाले स्टेज पे पहुंच चुके हैं. सो आई वांट टू आस्क यू, किस किस को प्रॉब्लम आ रही है लिटरेचर रिव्यू में और कहाँ पे?
मैम, मैं सबसे पहले
यस प्लीज.
मैम, सबसे ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम यही आ रहा है कि लाइक कीवर्ड्स को फाइंड आउट करना बड़ा मुश्किल हो रहा है. कि अब जैसे कि मैंने कुछ सर्च किया, ठीक है, मुझे एग्जैक्टली उस कीवर्ड्स पे मुझे मिल ही नहीं रहे हैं. और लेटेस्ट में तो नहीं मिल रहे हैं. लाइक लास्ट 5 ईयर्स में, जैसे कि मेरे मेंटर सौरभ सर हैं, उन्होंने बताया कि मोस्टली 5 ईयर्स में रहनी चाहिए स्टडीज़, ठीक है. तो मुझे उस टाइम की पीरियड की ना मिल के, कब ऐसा होता है कि बहुत पहले की मिल रही हैं, लाइक 2005 की, या फिर बहुत अर्ली की मुझे कुछ मिल रही हैं. तो क्या उनको लेना सही है अगर मुझे रिसेंटली नहीं मिल रहा है कुछ तो?
You see, 2005 is only going to define the history. This is 2023 we are talking about. 13 years back we are talking about. तो आज से 13 साल पहले में अब तक इस 13 साल में it's over a decade now, क्या कोई चेंज नहीं आया होगा? So definitely that study will not help you in the methodology aspect or in the discussion aspect, but definitely that will help you in understanding the origin of the work. So you should include that study only for the introduction purposes of your paper or your thesis.
ओके, ठीक
Right?
है।
The problem evolved during, this is how the problem has evolved, and it originated back in 2005.
हम्म।
Right? And if you're not getting any literature in between, that means the people are not documenting it. That
ओके,
means that the results were not significant enough to be documented.
ओके।
So this is one problem with the researchers all across the globe. They think they are not getting things significantly varying, so the study is useless. No, study is not useless. You should report if you're telling me that lime is sour. Okay, please report that it is sour. Other guy is also saying it's our, let him report that also under the given conditions. The person is reporting it from the Africa. The climatic conditions are absolutely different over there. And then if that guy is also reporting that lime is sour, that means it's a universal phenomena and it has a chemical that exists everywhere under every circumstances. So this is definitely one of the what should I say, कमी है हम researchers में, that we simply ignore the non-significant results. They also need to be published. That will save the time of the researcher, other people who are trying to do the research in the same field. So please, when you are doing the same, if in any case you are observing that the result is not very significant, please do publish that.
ओके।
Right? Do publish that. So if you're not getting it, that is the origin, that shows the origin of your research. In between, if you're not getting it, good for you. You can always present that, see, the originally it was being done, but इस ये काम अभी यहीं रुका है, उसके आगे there is no literature. So we are starting from this point onwards now.
ओके।
Right? So that would be a novel work, right? That will define, this is how you can define the novelty of your work. Okay, so nowadays, what people are doing, this new statistical analysis, which is also known as the meta-analysis, right? So people are already generating so much of data across the globe that you collect all that data and then you analyze that whether this hypothesis, you work upon an hypothesis, whether this hypothesis is worth working or not, whether it is significant or not. So I am giving you an idea about one of my papers where I have done the systematic review and the meta-analysis. Now you see here, I tried to work upon the gallbladder stones, right?
मैम स्क्रीन इज नॉट विजिबल मैम,
It's
डॉक्यूमेंटेशन।
not visible.
ओनली द 5 steps स्क्रीन इज विजिबल मैम।
So this screen is not visible to
Oh
you.
no।
Just give me a minute. I'll reshare it. Please give me a minute.
मैं आपसे लाइक नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन यही पूछने वाला था, लाइक मैटर एनालिसिस और सिस्टमेटिक के बारे में, तो आप उसे बता ही रहे हैं।
जी. Right. So this is the data which is already available in the on different platforms, research platforms, where they are giving research articles. I have assembled all of them. Now you see, just like you have seen, initially it showed me over 1 million results, but then when the minute I started adding different types of keyword, like if not the gallbladder stone, it is also termed as the gallstone. Right. So I use the gallstone as a keyword. Then I use the leptin and the hormone where I want to see how it is affecting the gallbladder diseases. So the minute I started adding those keywords, the search narrowed down from 1 million to 2047. Now I will just show you how we searched it all. Just a minute. Let me go to the material methods. You see over here. So these are the different types of keywords which we have searched, and you have seen that I have used the double quotes and the brackets. This is how you search. When you put anything under the double quotes, the Google will show you that exact phrase. It will consider whole thing as one phrase. Now this is one phrase. So wherever Google will see leptin, it will show it to me. And the minute I add and these words, now what it will do, it will show me leptin and gallstone, leptin and gallbladder stone, leptin and polylithasis, right? So it will show me all those searches, all those research articles in which all these keywords are coming. So the important point is that your keywords should be specific to your field. There is quite a possibility that you are not putting up the right keywords into it, and that is why you are not getting the desired result on the Google Scholar, or on any other platform, right? So you see, after searching all these papers, my initial search showed me 2047 articles, but after I defined my exclusion and inclusion criteria, it was only 348 review articles, 446 book chapters, 94 encyclopedia and 762 other articles. But after screening, जब हमने उसमें से animal studies हटा दिए सारा कुछ, खुशहाल जी, is getting really boring, is it?
No, ma'am, sorry.
No problem. I thought it's getting very monotonous, so I should change the theme now. All right. So from 2047 articles, I just narrowed it down the search to 72 studies. Why? Because I have already defined the exclusion and inclusion criteria of my study, right? Then I extracted the data from that, and with the help of various analysis, various statistical methods, I did the study and published it. Okay, so these are the few points which you need to keep in mind. For a successful research, you need to know what to search, how to search, and how to write. Okay? Okay. Now I have searched everything. I have my research topic with me, my literature surveys with me. I'm very good in vocabulary, grammar, punctuation, everything. Now, can I write a good manuscript? How many of you are saying yes, and how many of you are saying no?
No.
Please raise your hands. I want to see everyone over here.
No.
No. Why no, Harit?
Manuscript.
Yes, Kohli ji.
It's not only literature or vocabulary part which is required. I think you need to put facts into words. So framing of that and putting on is different from knowing vocabulary and knowing the literature part.
Okay. So, but facts you already are aware of. Facts, so you know after doing the literature survey.
Not according to the requirement of this is and not as per your, I'll say, not as per a normal essay writing.
Okay. Okay. Kohli ji, you also wanted to say something?
Yes. So there is, I was feeling the same thing while I was writing, but there's a process of writing the manuscript, and that has to be, we have to know that, because for everything that is written, a citation has to be made. Like in a good research, I was reading a research on Saraswati's recent research on Saraswati rivers course, and for everything, that river is not found, and there's a lot of mythology and a lot of science and a lot of mystery around that disappearance of that river. But for each and everything the authors are putting down, they are having to make a citation of what previous researchers have had to say. So it is quite a challenging thing, and it is not like writing a essay which is fluent, because for everything you're having to doubt your assumption, and you have to prove that you're saying the right thing, and you have to give validation for it. So that is quite a process, and it has to be known.
So now what you do, Koleji, you just put a inclusion criteria of all the studies. There has to be an inclusion criteria. Like you will be considering only those studies which are related to the which are being proposed by the environmentalist for the Saraswati River, or you put a criteria, because you see after reading so much of literature, your mind is like a garden now. It has roses, it has jasmine, it has mogra. No, you have to choose which garland you want for yourself. That is the inclusion criteria.
Yeah, so this particular research is not my topic.
Yeah.
I was just curious about Saraswati River,
Yeah.
and it was just a reading that I did. My topic is on Rajuji's calligraphy work, which is pictorial. Yeah, he uses a writing tool to draw images, and those images are narratives of Indian epic mythologies, and it's quite a, and I am saying in my research that it is a new genre that he has discovered.
Oh, that's
So
great.
for this kind of work, directly, there are articles are not there because it's a rare work. I mean, if I'm researching on calligraphy, it would be on how people write, or what they have done. And even if I write it's a calligraphy. So what is the new thing that Rajuji has done? It is panning a wider area of art, modern art, conceptual art, even postmodern art, and it is discovering a new genre. Like every time, uh, there has been impressionism, but when it moved into post impressionism, it was also another new kind of work. So I have to study every time there has been a new art genre, what new art movement, how it has been. So my keywords are becoming expansive.
Your keywords are becoming expansive. Again, I'm telling you, if you cannot define the inclusion criteria, then it would be good that you define the exclusion criteria. Where you, which one you cannot take, which studies you cannot take, and that criteria is usually based upon the earlier studies, right? And by going through all that literature, I'm not a design person, but I know one thing for sure. When you are going through literature, you would know that there will be people that would involve, that would include a software that will involve some kind of hand tools for the calligraphy, or there will be people who will be hiring some other methods for the calligraphy. So you define the exclusion criteria of your study. That way things will become simpler for you, and you will be able to, to generate a viewpoint, or to generate absolutely a different perspective, propose a different theory about that particular type of calligraphy, right? This is all I can suggest for now. Now, after you do all this literature survey and you complete your homework for further research, then you need to write an article. Right now, you start collecting your data, you have your literature survey with you. Now, you need to write a research article. Now, you see, writing a research article is not only an art. You have just seen that while you were putting down your thoughts about the penguin, you got confused which line to write about the penguin, which I can skip, and then you were
हाँ जी
thinking
सर.
about one thing and you start writing about the
हाँ जी
other
सर.
things. Right? Now, this is the confusion which will always
हाँ
persist
जी हाँ जी हाँ जी सर.
every time you sit with the pen and
मैं
paper to
सर
write your
हाँ सर
manuscript
आ
or your
सकता हूँ, कोई
thesis,
दिक्कत नहीं.
right?
मेरा फुल
So,
टाइम.
today we are going to
मैं
talk
तो
about the science of writing, right? Art comes from your heart and your creative mind, and the science comes from basic facts and rules. Okay, so we are going to talk about them. See, there are few tricks of the trade. First thing, you have to structure the information. Second thing, you have to link the ideas logically in your manuscript, and practically you have to increase
डिस्टेंस
the
है.
cohesiveness in your
क्या चीज़ से?
manuscript, right? And how you will improve that cohesiveness in your manuscript, there are different tools to it. We are going to talk about them, right? So first thing is, the basic requirement we need to understand. If I have to do the academic writing in any field, there has to be three things which I have to take care of, right? First thing is the language. Second thing is the technical aspect which you are covering. Third thing is the formatting of that paper. Okay, now language doesn't only mean the grammar, right? Language means the coherence between the sentences, the connectivity between the paragraphs, and how they all are leading to your main idea. Okay, so if I if I say that writing an article is like building a house, that I would be wrong. Because just like in a house, you need a strong foundation to keep that house up straight. You need a proper structure so that it looks like a house, and then you need to stick all those bricks one over the other with the help of the cement, that is the cohesion. In the same way, when you want your research to be cited and to be recognized, you need to write it down, and every article should have that cohesiveness. Right? It should have a very strong foundation. Foundation you lay with the help of the literature survey, which you had already done. The structure you give, that is your art or the creativity, how you are going to discuss that, and the cohesion, how to keep everything together. Right? For example, one of my paper, is the screen visible to you? The paper is visible to you all or not?
No, I think we still have the previous slide.
No.
You are having seeing the slide. Okay, okay. I'm stopping share and I'm resharing that. Right. So in this paper, I wanted to tell the world that, see, Indian ginseng is, or the ashwagandha is a very good drug, and I was working upon the chemical aspect of this, right? Like I was trying to identify what are the different types of chemicals present in the ashwagandha, so that its market value increases manifold. Though people are already aware of it, but I was trying to produce an evidence to it, right? So how do I connect? Why should I tell people that, you see, you drink ashwagandha, it has anti-cancerous properties and this and that, because this is going to be really expensive thing, because growing ashwagandha, and it's very expensive in the market. So it would be better that if I just take out the chemical out of it and I synthesize in the lab and I give it to the patient, that would be a cheaper way of doing, and then I take the leaves and then I make a concoction and then I drink it or give it to the patient, right? So what I started with, I stick to the idea that I have to present that ashwagandha has these chemicals in it, and that's why it is so medicinally important, right? So from where I started, by how I will attract you towards the ashwagandha, I will simply tell you that, you see, this is the Indian ginseng, and the minute you hear this word ginseng, this is the key word. It will get into your mind. Okay, it looks like similar thing जो कि anti-aging है, जिसकी वजह से we stay young for years. फिर तो 23-year-old will also get attracted to your research, isn't it? Now, after that, I slowly moved towards that, see, in the ancient time also it has been used. So that is how I am putting the idea, I am putting the connection between my idea and the plant, that, see, this is being used for the studies so far. This is being used as the concoction across the world, as the syrup or as the powder form. It has been taken in the different forms, and then slowly I am moving towards the idea that is why, you see, it has so many activities inside the body. It acts as an antioxidant, it acts as a neurological drug, and it also helps us in releasing the stress. That I slowly move to the main idea. All right. So what I am doing over here, I am just connecting a pattern. I'm just putting some connectivity between the lines, between the paragraphs, so that I can reach my main idea, and while maintaining the interest of my reader. Right? The way you present your paper defines how well you have gone through the literature, right? So this is how we have to write a paper. Now let me share my slide again. This is visible to everyone. So cohesiveness is basically that cement or the logical connection between the sentences. Right? Now, coherence, if I'm talking about the idea for which I am writing the paper, right? The connection of the ideas, how I have to approach the problem, and cohesion is the connection of those ideas at the sentence level or at the paragraph level. right? So writing should be the reflection of our thinking, right? If you can convince your reviewer that you have thought this particular idea in a proper systematic way, it has a logical connection from the past studies and it is relevant because the past studies were not able to define this particular problem, your paper gets accepted like that, right? So coherence is basically that technical term, that development of the process, the discussion of your idea, the evidences which are supporting your idea, how to integrate different types of methodologies, organizing that, and giving a crisp idea and crisp discussion to the reviewer gets your paper accepted, right? So what exactly we are doing? Have any one of you have ever read Chetan Bhagat? कभी किसी ने चेतन भगत का नॉवल पढ़ा है आप में से किसी ने भी?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, just one person has read. People,
Yes, ma'am.
he became an instant hit when he wrote his first book. And why he became one night at the call center? Was it the first book? Now, 5 Point Someone was the first one, right? Now, people read it like anything. It became the metro buddy in Delhi. Chetan Bhagat in everybody's purse. Why? Because it has been written in such a easy way that everybody was able to understand and follow his words. There was no interpretive burden on the reader. The way he has written, we were able to correlate it directly with him, right? Similar should be your manuscript. It should not put the interpretive burden on the reader, on your reviewer, on your audience, right? So, how you are going to do that? You have to maintain the coherence between the sentences, within the sentence, and between the paragraphs. All right? So, again, I'll discuss my paper where I know I have to sell my idea of metabolic profiling of the Indian ginseng, and how I would do that. First, I will take the selling points of the ashwagandha, then I will move towards its utility, and then I'll move towards the utility of the metabolites in the selling of the Indian ashwagandha. Right? So the rules of writing the paper are: the first one, you begin with the theme or the main idea, right? And then you follow it with the new idea. Link the first sentence with the next sentence. For example, if I am trying to write about the nanotechnology, so first I'll give you the theme on which I want to write. In the current era, the focus of research is on nanotechnology. So I have given you the theme, nanotechnology. And then in the second line, I will maintain that coherence. I will not let your interest go from anywhere else. In the second line itself, I will tell you, see, the nanotechnology has unique properties. तो अभी इंटरेस्ट आया रिव्यूअर को कि क्या यूनिक प्रॉपर्टीज हैं बिकॉज द डिवाइसेस वर्क एट द नैनोमीटर साइज अच्छा दिस इज अ न्यू इन्फॉर्मेशन आई एम गिविंग यू दैट देयर इज अ नैनोमीटर साइज दैट्स व्हाई it can get in anywhere and that's why it is used for the bypass surgery. So what I am doing here, the focus of research is nanotechnology. In every sentence, in the second sentence, I am giving you the new information, but I have kept the theme. So this way you have to make a logical connection between the sentences and between the paragraphs. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, okay. Right? So you can write your theme in different ways. It could be A, B, AC type. That means A is my theme, B is the new information. Another one is A, B, B, C type. That you start with the theme, you give a new information, you stick to the new information, or you can mix the two. But never move away from your theme and the inclusion criterias or the exclusion criterias. Keep that in mind while writing your manuscripts. Now you see, again, over here, let's see the pattern over here. What kind of pattern is this? In the current area, the focus of research is on nanotechnology, and the nanotechnology is about using the unique properties of particles and devices of the nanometer size. What pattern is it? ABAC or ABBC?
Ma'am, AB is ma'am, ABAC, I think.
ABAC?
Yes, yes.
Yes? Anyone else? No one. No one's listening. Oh, you didn't understood. What is it?
In the area, current area, focus
Okay.
of
Yes,
research.
it is ABAC type. Okay. Now, these are the different tools of the cohesive writing. How you are supposed to write your manuscript. First, you need to write you need to know the use of the right conjunctions. Then the technical words or the keywords, which if you keep, these technical words need to pop up every now and then throughout the manuscript so that the interest remains there. Then the references which you are using for writing your manuscript or for writing your literature review, the references, how to frame them, and then the development of the paragraph. Now, with every research, the paragraph development has to be around the main theme. You write the main theme, and then the sub ideas will form each sub idea will form a single paragraph. Okay, so what is the role of cohesion conjunctions? See, conjunctions we all know already. So just I'll go for a mild review that a conjunction are those words which join two clauses or two sentences or two paragraphs, right? If you are writing something where the relationship is cause and effect type, fine, you'll be using the result, you'll be using the conjunction as a result, consequently, because of this, therefore it happened, right? So these are the terms which will help you in defining the relationship types. Or if you are doing a temporal study, over a period of time you are defining a time sequence, then you will be using your conjunction then, first, next. Firstly, I would like to give this correlation, secondly it has this advantage, like that, right? Then if it is a contrastive type, then you can write on the contrary, on the other hand. And the minute you write or speak on the contrary, so it's the human psychology to automatically give an ear to the argument. Oh, on the contrary, there is some argument, right? So these words will simply maintain the interest of your author, of your reviewer, or the audience, right? Similarly, these are some more different types of transitional expressions which you can use while writing your manuscript. All right, like for the sequence, for the time, you can use meanwhile, immediately, simultaneously, subsequently. These are the different conjunctions which if you use in your manuscript, they make a great impact. For example, if I am writing something on the dogs, let's say, and there are two samples I'm showing you on the slide, a non-cohesive sample and the cohesive sample. Please go through them and tell me which one keeps your interest on.
The second one, ma'am.
Why the second one? Why not the first one? It is giving
Because
all
in
the
the first
information
one
that
there is
second
a
one has to give you.
in the first one there is a sentence or there is a reference which is not explained. There is an abrupt reference to wolves as predecessors of dogs, but then what happened after that is explained better in the second paragraph where they says they were the predecessors, they were more like ferocious or something, but they have been domesticated and they've been tamed now and they are now safe to be companions at home or something. The second is a better flow.
Satakshi, I
It
also
has a
agree with him. I also agree with him because I'm relating dogs with my bojo. Absolutely correct.
That's
Very
a
good.
good one. Right. So here I'm just trying to show the cohesive samples. Now you see, just by the use of those conjunctions, how you have maintained such a beautiful flow, the information flow. You have maintained the interest of your audience and the reviewer. This is the point I want to make over here with respect with the help of this example, right? So these are the various points which if you keep in mind while writing your manuscripts and structuring of the manuscript, you can do in the same way, right? Now, similarly, if you see another example over here, that the conjunctions you are using, you can, instead of writing this, you can also write the same paragraph in this way, right? In spite of questionable effectiveness and one or more side effects, hair growth products available in form of many synthetic and alternative medicines contribute the $1 million market globally. Now you see, it takes a lot of stress to read it. So many technical words in just one sentence, and then it is, I have to reread the sentence what it wants to say. But in the second one, I have simplified it. Hair growth products available in form of many synthetic and alternative medicines have $1 million market globally. Now the interest comes up, right? It's a $1 million industry. Oh wow. But effectiveness is questionable. The question comes over here. Now you see the cohesion is there, but on the contrary, besides, I have simply used those words, and you see how the changes or how the impact has been introduced into the given article, into the given paragraph. So this is how we are working towards the writing of manuscript. And that's why I was saying that writing a manuscript is not only the art of writing, it is also the science of writing. There are some rules to it, right? Now, these are fanboys is a term which we use for some various conjunctions. F stands for, A for and, N for nor, B for but, O for or, Y for yet, S for so. Right? Now you see, when you are using these conjunctions, you can convert the longer sentences into the smaller sentences with cohesion, right? Do not use too much conjunctions, because that will make your language very, very casual. That shouldn't be the case in case of a research article. It should look professional at the same time. So do not allow your reader to lose the attention, but do not make it so difficult that it becomes a stress for somebody who is reading your manuscript, right? So remember Chetan Bhagat, always. Right. So this is a takeaway for the conjunction so far. Now, second comes the references. There are four rules of
Ma'am,
a good manuscript.
this Chetan Bhagat
Yes.
is fiction. Okay, his style of writing has been liked by many people, but it is fiction. What I had read recently, one of the links which Dr. Roy sent was to us was that when we do the thesis, it is a scientific research, and in scientific research, the language and the format and the flow is different from fiction. You may simplify it a lot for people to like reading you, but it also has to have a scholarly content which may have words which your audience, which is going to read you, may all know it. So you're not going for a massy audience who is going to buy your books from these pirated books from the roadside at red lights like Chetan Bhagat. This is a scholarly research. What you point yourself is
Yes.
well taken, but
See,
it
what
cannot be
my point is,
oversimplified to that level of Chetan Bhagat.
I understood your point. See, I have given the example of Chetan Bhagat when I am talking about that your writing should not be stressful to the audience, right? For example, in this slide, this is a scientific piece, right? But if I'm writing the first sentence and if I'm writing the second sentence, second paragraph, you can see how I have simplified this paragraph. How it is the second paragraph is more understandable just by adding some conjunctions, right? So what the point I want to make through the Chetan Bhagat is that there should be stress-free reading despite including all the scientific basis evidences of the previous studies. It should be stress free. There should be a flow in your study, right? And Chetan Bhagat will never add any reference to his studies because it's all fiction, right? So
Yes, ma'am.
here you will be adding the references, and there your writing changes from the pulp fiction or the kind of fiction he writes. Okay. So definitely you're not going to use a very casual language for your scientific reading, but it should not be very complex also, right? So, how to maintain that balance? You are the one who will decide that. And you will decide that on the basis of your understanding and on the
चल रहा है
basis
सर
of your rules, which we are discussing over here. Fine. Even when you are putting the references in the context, right? जब आपका मेन टेक्स्ट में आप रेफरेंसेस करते हैं, when you are using the referencing software, then also you mention that so and so et al have proposed in his lecture. If you are quoting a lecture or in a book chapter, you would refer in his this address he has delivered this information, right? So this is how you add the information in your text also. So referencing you are not only doing at the end of the article, you are doing it in mid of the text also, right? So every time you are including it in the text, the pronouns have to be the perfect one. You have to know where you have to use the pronouns, the possessive pronouns or the determiners. Okay? So this referencing will absolutely change the structure of your article. It won't be a casual pulp fiction. Now it will become a more scientifically evident piece of work. Okay. So referencing you can do in either way, in the text, through the anaphoric way or the cataphoric way. If you are backwardly pointing towards it, that if I'm studying on the rats, a total of 36 V-star rats were used for the study. Then in the second line, I'm using they. So from there, you know that I have already given the reference of they earlier, right? And if I am giving the information later on, so I can write my sentence like this, that in spite of its simple and effective construction, the ABC is not very much used in the industry, right? So referencing you can do either way, either in the forward way or in the backward way. That is your way of writing, right? But it should be done in either of these ways, not in any other form, right? Similarly, you need to keep your sentences crisp when you are doing the academic writing. And similarly, how you are going to do it? By substituting a filler word to avoid the repetition. This is known as the substitution. Or by removing an entire phrase or few words, right? And introducing one or two more words to explain the whole thing. You leave the audience to think. For example, he goes to the yoga classes in the afternoon. I hope I can too. What you can do? Read the first sentence, right? So this way you can make your writing crisp. Fine. When you are providing evidences, you need to be crisp, but at the same time, flow of information should be there. So I will just move towards the last line here, the paragraph development. Now, so far you have understood how to maintain the correlation or a logical connection between the two sentences. Now, every sentence of a paragraph will form a paragraph. Now, how to maintain that connection between the two paragraphs so that finally when you write your final main idea, the reader shouldn't feel bored or should not be able to connect it. It shouldn't happen with the reader, right? So to maintain that flow from sentence to sentence, from paragraph to paragraph, you need to have the grammatical cohesion. And how you are going to do that? You are simply going to use some basic sentences, like we are going to discuss it afterwards, right? And in the next paragraph you're saying earlier we had discussed this, so now this has a correlation with this in such and such study it has been given. So each paragraph represents a sub idea of your main idea, right? So this way, this sentence to sentence to sentence, you are forming a paragraph, and each paragraph is connected to the next paragraph, and each paragraph is leading towards a sub idea. End of the paragraph has to be the transitioning sentence, that since this is my sub idea, that led to me another sub idea, and that led to me to the main idea. That is how you define or you narrate a story. Writing an article is like narrating a whole story. Okay? Now, you see, there are few steps again which are involved in the paragraph development, right? Same things, the way we have described how to form a sentence after sentence, A, B, A, C, A, B, B, C, or the combination of the two, in the same way you will do the paragraph also. But at the end of this paragraph, You have to give
A
those transitional
scientific
words and phrases
sir,
like
one
having
side
discussed this, besides the
सर्विस सर्विस
methods discussed earlier,
कैंपस
right?
पे रहना
You will
पड़ेगा.
be giving your main ideas, you will be proposing your sub ideas. So these are few tips for the strong paragraph. The first tip is you have to write one idea or sub idea per paragraph. Second is you have to address the main idea in a topic in a sentence. The theme sentence should be near the beginning of the paragraph. There should not be more than 8 to 10 sentences or 5 to 8 sentences in each paragraph. Now you have to develop that idea from the first paragraph where you have given the theme sentence. You have to develop the idea through next 4 or 5 sentences, and the sixth sentence has to be the transitional one, right? And then after that smooth transition, you'll switch to the next paragraph. So always keep in mind that writing is again not just art. And how you can do this? If you are finding difficulty, then there are these softwares which will help you in writing good papers. The MS Office Grammarly is not only about the grammar checking, it is much more than that. You can try that. The Swan, Ginger, Hemingway, Editor 3, these are different types of softwares which will help you in language and grammar software. And nowadays, ChatGPT is doing wonders. Every other day you are thinking about the chat GPT. Now this is my last slide where I want you to read the technical details, that how you are starting with a topic paragraph, you are giving the supporting details, and you are closing the sentence, right? For example, if I am writing something about the Canada, why one should live over there. So Canada is one of the best countries in the world to live in. Why? That is the supporting information I am giving. I am building up the idea over here. You see, the first, Canada has an excellent healthcare system. All Canadians have access to the medical facilities at reasonable price. And secondly, it has very high standard of education. Students are taught by well-trained teachers and are encouraged by continuous studying at the university. So I have built up the idea that why one should go and live in Canada, right? Now my closing sentence would be, what should it be? I should leave a thought process in the mind of my audience कि वो इस बारे में सोचे that कि मुझे जाके वहाँ रहना है. Okay, can I mute you? Okay, Kushal ji. Okay. So finally, cities are very clean and efficiently managed. They have many parks, lot of spaces for people to live. As a result, again my conjunction comes to define my work, right? Canada is a desirable place to live. All right. So this is how one writes a manuscript, how you think critically, how you connect your ideas, and how you actually try to write it down. I know I put many things in one class and I didn't let you do many activities today. So today I'm just going to give you a small exercise which definitely sir will sir will check later on. Whatever your research topic is, write a small
Oh, तेरी.
the rules
Recording
which we
in
have
progress.
discussed today. Right? 2-page synopsis.
That means Shatakshi, sorry for the interruption, but that means I've already given them 2 page and they have submitted that, and I've tried to check it
I know
also.
that.
But yes, now
I
they can revise it. Now they can revise it because there are so many things when I talk to them about the connectivity, because many times 2 people, 3 people have written that in their literature review, that review number 1, review number 2, review number 3. I said there's no connectivity. How this review has been done? There's no interrelationship between one, like you rightly said, how to write the paragraph. So certain additional information has been given to them, and I think that whatever you have submitted, you can still revise that based on the parameters given by Dr. Satakshi. And don't want to extend my thanks to Shatakshi. Let other people, other scholars who are there, like Koili, Sumit, Gopanji is there, Ramanpreet Kaur. You please extend your thanks, because Manish will not be able to take your classes at 2 o'clock. Today is Saturday. You go and enjoy your weekend. And yes, one or two, Rajuji, please